Welcome back to the channel. This week we're gonna start with this old Murray 12 horsepower late 80s lawnmower that has the engine in the back, unlike your normal ride-on that has the engine in the front. Our main goal is to try and get it out of the shed here and then to maybe make a preliminary attempt at trying to start it. And if it starts, that'd be sick. If it doesn't start, we'll try again another time. So, without further ado, let's get on it. So we've went and grabbed the air tank and a booster pack, and now we're gonna see if we get some air in the tires and try to roll it out and then try to start it. It's been probably over a decade since this thing last ran.
Any bet she'll start right up?
Probably not.
That's a brake, she'll run. Still got a battery in it, that would be garbage.
So here's the engine. So Riggs and Stratton.
Oh no!
That's not a good sign.
We might be stopped before we're started.
Oil, I'm sure, is...
It's got lots of oil in it and it looks clean.
It's clean.
So I can't believe that it would be seized then. Maybe it's seized in the cylinder.
Well, let's see if we can get it to turn with the starter.
Well, what we should do, this is part of engine revivals, which we haven't got to do much of yet, but what we should do is pull the spark plug out, put some oil in the cylinder, and let it soak for a while before we try to spin it. Otherwise, if it is rusty in there, it's just going to scrape the crap out of the cylinder.
And if we had more time to do that today.
Yeah. The muffler is completely rotted away, so she's going to be noisy.
It was always noisy. I don't remember it ever being. That's not a good sign. Okay, so we're back on the red lawnmower here briefly. We're just going to pull the spark plug. And we're going to dump a whole bunch of WD-40 into it.
Whoa, good job. That's great. But before that, it was a little bit rusty looking, but nothing crazy. And it wasn't hard to get it undone, so. Dot on this one. Okay, let's do this first. Actually, just a little rinsey poo. So it's good to go. All right, and then can't see anything. Oh boy. Of course, the problem with this is the pistons are not vertical, or the spark plugs are not vertical, so you can't really fill the. I'm curious where this is all going. I got the straw against the piston, but it's not coming out. Where is it all going?
At the exhaust.
Probably.
It's probably more than enough.
See for yourself. No, it's not flowing down onto the. It's not flowing onto the deck yet, I don't think. And can't really see. Huh.
No. Well, it went somewhere.
It's probably just into the crankcase. I'm pretty sure that's the piston. But we'll try that much. Let's see, I guess I'll just put this back in here loosely. Murray, Canada.
And sometime in the future, we'll be back on this and see if we can get it going. So it's been a year since the last time we worked on this, but today we're hopefully gonna get this thing at least close to starting, maybe.
Unseized would be a good start.
So just as a little summary, I know you guys just watched the video, but to refresh ourselves, all we did with this last time was we took it out of the shed briefly. We tried to see if the engine would turn, and it didn't. And then before Greg left, because we ran out of time, we squirted some WD-40 oil into the intake.
Into the spark plug hole.
Yeah, spark plug hole.
Cylinder, and we aired up the tires, and one or two of them kept. That one did. That one did not.
So now today, we're gonna pull it back out of the shed again, and then I have no idea what we're doing next.
Yours to discover.
So stay tuned. Alright, so now that we've got it out of the shed, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to see if we can make it turn. As you get tangled up in cords.
Wireless mics are on the list. Alright. We put the spark plug back in just loosely last time. So take it out to remove any resistance. That at least doesn't look dry and rusty, which is promising. And then just start by seeing if I can do this, because you should be able to. That's it. Negative. Okay. So our WD-40 didn't do enough. So then the next thing I guess would be to take the shroud off so we can put a screwdriver in the ring gear and see if we can make it pop loose.
So just before we start on this, there looks to be 2 bolts at the front.
And there's 2 hiding behind.
Looks like there's one here as well.
That is just for the starter gear cover. It might just come up with it, but the one that's holding this on will have to come off, which is over here.
Yeah, there's one there.
And there's 2 at this end. I don't know how you're supposed to get to them. This doesn't come off.
That should come off. It's just pressed in.
I think it's welded. Yeah, spot welded.
So they probably want you to pull the entire engine out to...
Well, or pull the body off, but you can probably put a wrench on it. It's just a hex bolt, so we might be able to do it from below.
Alright, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to get down to business here. Alright, so we got the engine cover off finally, and as you just saw, we found a huge rodent nest of some sort.
Yeah. All the fins of the cylinder that are supposed to be for cooling are completely plugged full of basically soil now, because it's more or less decomposed, and a mix of corroded aluminum too. So yeah, that's a nice mess. Starter. Wow, how is the starter not seized? What? That's impossible. So yeah, I want to try and take the... It's not a big deal for what we're trying to do now, I guess, but I want to try and take the front piece of heat shielding, or cooling shielding really, off to try and get some more of the nest and dirt out of it. But we can get to the flywheel now, so we can try and see if we can break it free. So yeah, I'll take this front panel off just for kicks to get some more of that out of there. And oh, it gets better, Mitchell.
There's a dead mouse in there, isn't
Yeah. It's
I mean, it's right in the starter. What?
I think it tried to crawl through there and got stuck maybe, and that was the end of it.
Well, that's probably why it's seized.
No.
It's probably not actually seized.
No. That mouse wouldn't stop it from turning. So, yeah, that's the worst nest inside a small engine cover I've ever seen, but it's also been sitting how long?
Probably 15 years.
Yeah, so this isn't a recent nest. That mouse looks kind of recent, but they also just don't do anything. They just dry up and then that's it. So, who knows? It's probably been a long time. Okay, so yeah, we'll pull this piece of tin off. We should go grab some more oil and a big, like, pry bar if you don't have one here. And see if we can get this thing to turn.
Okay.
Okay, so in true small engine fashion, the ring gear is plastic, so I can't do what I wanted to do. I was just going to pry on the ring gear and break the thing loose, but we can't do that because the ring gear is plastic. So I guess the only other thing we can do is take all this cooling stuff off the top and see if there's something on the top of the flywheel that we can pry on. Otherwise, the next option beyond that is to pull the cylinder head off and whack the piston with a block of wood and a hammer. So, I guess let's take the top apart and see if we can get a pry point, because the pry bar would be so much easier with the torque and the leverage to make it break free. So, let's try that first.
Well, that wasn't a great success.
There's nothing to pry on the flywheel at all, and it's stuck badly enough that putting a breaker bar and a socket on the crank bolt and just pulling is just going to do nothing, potentially just twist the crank bolt off. So I guess we're going to pull the cylinder head and whack the piston with a block of wood and a hammer and see if that does anything. So, got the cylinder head off, broke two of the bolts off, which is crazy. I've never had that before. There is some sticking out, but I have to heat up the cast of the cylinder head with a torch severely to try and get those out of there, probably.
Not equipment we have available to us here.
Not right now, no. The cylinder does not look bad though, so I really don't understand why this engine won't turn. I almost wonder if it's underneath the flywheel that's stuck. I just don't know how that would be that badly stuck. But we can try hitting the piston a little bit with the wood and the hammer and see if anything moves at all. To me, looking at that cylinder, it doesn't look like anything in there is seized, so unless it's on the back side of that for whatever reason, then we should be able to get it to move, I would think. Okay, so I guess let's try try whacking it a little bit with the wood and the hammer on the piston and see if anything moves. And if not, we might have to try and take the flywheel off.
Sounds like a plan.
Spot. Did we check if there's oil in it? I'm sure we did. Like last time.
Sure there is oil in it.
Oh yeah, it looks like brand new. Not full, but fast. I guess they can't get out of this trade. How much further can we go? Might be the bottom of the stroke. Saying. Very much stuck. It's going really well. That's to be expected, at least to move. Could have been much worse. The cylinder's not even resting. Something on it to pry with now that it moves well. guess it's because it has no torque. Oh. Okay. Well. I think it's time we see if the starter works.
Okay, we're going to need a battery booster, I guess.
Yeah. The starter's not seized, which is an absolute miracle, so it should work. And then we can spin it over with that, and that'll start to free things up. And we can also check to see if it has any spark.
Okay, so for the starter check, we're going to use the battery pack that we've used in many different videos over the years. And then we're just going to crank it, see what happens.
Solenoid click, so I would say that the solenoid is bad, but we can power it directly too. Let's see if I make it do something. And ground is the issue. Ready for this?
No.
What are you plugging your ears for?
I don't know. Holy crap.
Tried. I have a feeling that the engine's still too stuck for it to.
Is it on?
Yeah.
That was really anticlimactic though, didn't you?
Mr. Starter.
Oh, that's a finger. This is very smart.
Oh, come on. I was hoping that.
You almost had the same fate with your finger as the mouse.
Oh, there we go. I need to turn it around some more first. Okay, so that will work power-wise. Need to spin the engine some more first with some WD-40 underneath the flywheel, I think, so got the stuff. I'm sure the main problem with what I'm doing is not enough ground. Here goes nothing. Get video footage of that with one or the other.
Okay, starter up again.
Oh shit, we're down to 25%. This will be the last go if it'll even go. We should do a spark check while we're set up like this.
Where do we put the plug? Probably not a good idea to have set it.
Huh?
Most nest.
What? Yeah. No, No, it was actually clean. I thought it was dirt, but it was just the metal. So the problem with this is getting the ground and also being able to see if it's sparking or not.
Oh, I'm gonna move the camera to focus on the spark plug.
Good? It's probably not going to be able to see it, but...
Probably would with slow-mo.
Okay.
Not if your head's blocking it.
I didn't see anything, but it might not be grounded at all. I don't know, there's nothing around to... I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised if the coil's dead. Oh, is the key on? No, so we're not going to have spark if he's not on. Let's try again.
Okay, probably one last shot at this.
Now the battery charge is going up, so it's at 50 now.
You ready for some sparky?
Maybe.
Oh heck yeah, I see it. Do it again to see if the camera...
This will run, sir. I blocked with the sun, it should be able to see it. It started and stopped there because I think it's not grounded well enough, but did it look like it got it?
Pick it up. Might have picked it up the first time.
Try holding maybe your other phone or whatever up closer. See if you can get it.
This phone has an inferior camera.
Well, whatever.
If we had the GoPro here, it'd be a lot better.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah, got it.
That's got a fantastic spark. That's better than newer stuff.
Well, that's good news. Other than the fact that we can't run it because you broke 2 head bolts.
Oh, we're gonna run it without those 2 head bolts. Don't you worry. That's the next thing, is to put the head back on with the bolts we do have. Put a little bit of fuel down the carburetor and watch it go.